Hey there, my name's Gavin, and this is a short tutorial on how to play Like Him by Tyler, the Creator on piano. So the first part of the song is going to be the intro, and we start with this descending A minor line right here. So we're on A minor, these three notes right here. You're going to start with E, C, A. Awesome, so that's the first two phrases. It's the next part is going to be lowering this E down to a D. So you have this. D, C, A. The next part is going to be lowering this C down to a B. So now you have D, B, A. And the last part is going to be D, B, A flat. And then it just repeats itself. So we're doing... And that's the intro. There's really not too much else to it. You should be able to get that down pretty well. And what this is really outlining is the chord progression for the rest of the song. The entire chord progression of the song, it's going to be A minor to start with, and then D7, and then G major 7, and then E dominant, or E7. So starting out, we can just think of it like those chords just arpeggiated. So awesome, so we got the intro down. The rest of the song is going to be revolving around four chords. We're going to start with A minor, which is A in the bass line in your left hand, and then A, C, E in the top. So just, that's going to be your first chord. The second chord is going to be a D7, so I have a D in my left hand down here and a D right here. And you're going to be adding this F sharp, A, C, and then I put the E in it to add a little bit of voicing to it. So we're going to have this big block chord right here. And then the third chord is going to be a G major 7. So it's this chord right here. G, B, D, F sharp. And what I do when I'm voicing it is I have G, B, D, F sharp, and then I add G, B, D up here, just to give it a little bit more warmth almost. And then finally, the fourth chord is going to be E major. So we have E down here, B, E, A flat, D. So you have this last chord right here. And then really what you want to do is just be creative with the way that you play it. You really want to kind of put your own style into it. So what I do when I'm playing these chords, and instead of just having A, C, E, A, C, E up here, right? Which, that sounds fine. I like to add a couple of inner voicings, so adding a couple of these white notes in between. So for this A minor chord, you can add like a B or a G right here, something like that. So I like to do this voicing of A, G, B, C, E, like this. As you can see, it's a much different sound, and I think it's closer to what the actual song has for its voicing. The next part, let's do this D in the bass line, and then F sharp, A, C, E. And then you can add the G major 7 right here. As you can see, I added an A right here, so G, A, D, F sharp, G, B, D. So you got this big chord going on right here, and then finally you end with just an E. And all this E's purposes is like E, A flat, B. The whole point of that is just to get back to the A minor again. So we're back to here. And that's really the function of the entire song. You know, you can play with the voicings a little bit, you can get them a little bit closer to what the actual song has, but what I was hearing from just my first listen through was just this progression right here. You know, you have A minor 7, right? And then you have D7, and then you have G major 7, and then you have this E dominant chord. So beautiful. That's like the first midsection right there. You kind of have this upper voicing. It's in a little bit higher register up here. We're now going to move lower down to the piano for the second part of it. Awesome. So let's recap everything real quick. We have the intro down of E, C, A, E, C, A, D, C, A, D, C, A, D, B, A, D, B, A, D, B, A flat, D, B, A flat, A minor chord.
Got that nigga feet.
And a G major 7. And then an E chord. And at this point, you want to play a E, A flat, B, right? And then play in your left hand an octave lower on the E. So like, beautiful. And now everything shifts from up here in this register down to here. So now we play the same chords, just lower. So A minor, D7, G major 7, E7. And then the only change in the entire song kind of happens right here. It maintains that chord progression for a really long time, but finally when we get down into this register, we play that one time through, and then on the next time through, after we've played it one more time down here, we play
My waist and my posture.
A minor, C major, E minor. So that's like that rising part right there, right? You have A and E in the left hand, and then A, C, E, C, E, G, E, G, B. So it's all in quick succession. And you go right back to that D7 right after playing that rising line. So down to here. And then it goes back to a G major 7. And right after this G major 7, it's the only change in the chord progression that I think is going to happen in the entire song, which then it goes to a C over G. So we're going to be looking at this one more time, and in the song you'll hear him doing this thing, and you saw me do it in my cover too of the... We can add that in a second. Don't worry about that right now. Let's just go over the chords one more time. So we have a minor, C, to a D7, to this rattle, which is a G major 7. And all you're doing with that is you're just rocking your hands. And after this point, it's some silence as we hear in the song. And then it goes down to this C over G chord. And what I did in my version is I played this octave one right here, this one first, and then I went an octave lower. Right? And that's a really good passing chord. So we have all of this down, and next it goes to this E dominant 7 sus4 chord. So it's E, A, B, D, or I guess in our left hand, E and B, and then our right hand, E, A, B, D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you just do a drag with your right hand, you know, this should be pretty simple. Just get your knuckles like this, just drag right down to it. And it goes back to the A minor after the drag. So we're gonna go over everything one more time. Let's start from the beginning. We'll go over each part one more time, and then we'll go on to the chorus section. Sweet, so we're gonna look at each individual part one more time. So let's just review it all in order this time. So I'm gonna play it all at once, okay? So we start with this opening line. E, C, A, E, C, A, E, C, A. Right, we play that twice, so E, C, A, E, C, A, D, C, A, D, C, A, D, B, A, D, B, A, D, B, A flat, D, B, A flat, A minor, D7, and then G major 7 right here, and then an E chord. Now we go down an octave from up here to down here, A minor, and then D7 again, right? G major 7. Play the E chord right here, and then we do the right, we just wait, give it some time, and then C over G. Now in our left hand we play E and B. Right, we have E, A, B. we have all that going good. Seems fine. Let's move on to the next part. So the final part of the song is where Tyler is singing. Has his singing line, or I think it's actually Daniel Caesar singing, now that I think about it. I don't know. Someone's singing. We have a singer. Now, left hand, we're playing this A minor chord again, just, spread across the piano. So, A minor voicing, D7 voicing, G major 7, E7. Same chords as before, we're just playing them with one hand now. This will be a little bit tricky, but you guys will get it, I promise. Let's look at this one more time. So, A, G, B, C, E. And then in this hand, D, we have D, F sharp, A, C. In this hand, G, F sharp, G, E, D, and then in this hand, E, A flat, D, or sorry, B, D, right here. So it's just. Now in my cover, I was being a little bit judicial with this. I was just kind of just like playing what I felt right at the time. I'm pretty sure the correct melody line for this right hand is like. I think it's that, so G, E, B, D, D, E, F sharp, D, E, G. If I'm not mistaken, it might be something a little bit different. Again, when I was playing, I was just kind of listening to the song and seeing how it, made me feel to play it. But this line on our right lines up really well with this, again, walking, or it's not walking, but like the stride left hand that we got going on, so. Could be a little bit different. You'll have to just re-listen to the song to kind of get your own grasp on it. But the biggest thing that I found from it is just that if you're trying to sing along to the song, the chords are really helpful. Just this, walking A minor chord, D chord, then G major 7, and then E7, and then in my cover, I ended it with just another one of these C over G chords to this. I just ran it up the piano and ended on an A minor chord. And of course, this isn't going to be perfect to the actual song. This is just my rendition that I, kind of came up with very quickly and just wanted to play along with because I thought the song was really pretty. I feel like interpreting the music in your own way is really important, and it's something that, as a musician, you should be striving for, I feel like, It's nice to be able to play things very rigidly and, as the original song was, but understanding just the form of the song is really important, and I hope this video teaches you guys how to do that, and you can play along with it. It's a beautiful song from an amazing album, and yeah, I hope you guys learned a lot. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. But yeah, hope you all have a great day.